Hello and welcome back to the Sommelier Corner. I'm David with the Kai team, here to tell you about a fantastic wine and a great new listing that we just brought to market this month. A couple of things. The listing is actually what inspired the wine choice. This listing is a top floor condo at the Mayflower Lakeside with vaulted ceilings, a beautiful curated inlaid black wall, and views towards the Jordanelle as well. It is being offered fully furnished. If you know anyone looking for a condo on the Jordanelle, give us a call. This wine was inspired by the listing in the sense that the black inlaid wall, which is so beautiful and characteristic, made me think of Santorini, which is a Greek island in the Aegean Sea. It has volcanic based soil, so volcanic ash and basalt all through the island. The grape that we're going to talk about is Assyrtiko. It is a white wine variety from the Santorini island. A couple of things that are really cool about the wine in particular is one is the vine training method that they are forced to use on Santorini. Santorini is a really windy island. The wind pretty much never stops. And so they do a vine training system. It's called Kalura or Kuluri. And it's basically where they weave the vine into itself like a little basket that's really close to the ground. It's not very tall, maybe a couple of feet tall, and they just kind of make a nice circle, and it protects it from the elements and the wind. Really just unique to that area. Is something that you normally only see in areas with very high wind, because otherwise it's just going to keep blowing, keep it from getting hot and taking in the ripeness, things like that. In addition to that, I just mentioned that lots of volcanic soils is originally a caldera that created Santorini. And so there's pretty much no organic content in the soil, and there's no rivers or streams through all of Santorini. So very dry, might as well call it a desert with the way that there's no water and there's no nutrients in the ground. So the vines have to dig really, really deep just to find any type of nutrition to produce the grapes. Now, if you've been to any of my tastings before or been watching these videos for the unbelievable 36 months we've already been doing it, you will know that struggle is great for vines in the sense that it creates really great concentrated flavors in the grapes that they do produce. They don't produce as many, they're usually smaller, they're more concentrated in those flavors, and you definitely get a more terroir-like sensibilities from the wine that way. One other thing to keep in mind is Santorini is not a cool place. Most people, when they think about white wines, they're in cooler environments for the most part, with some exclusions. This being one of them. This is a grape that does really well in the heat, so it ripens well. You don't have to pick it early, and it still holds that natural acidity that the grape has itself. Unlike, in Pinot Grigio in northern Italy, for example, those are usually picked a little bit early so that they don't get too ripe, so that they can conserve the acidity of the wine and make sure it's nice and bright. Whereas with Assyrtiko, you can leave it on the vine, let it get nice and ripe, have a nice fruit profile, and still hold great acidity on the wine. So it's a nice dry white wine. Now, this is going to be my first sip of this. Color-wise, I'm not going to do the blind tasting per se, but I'm going to do it a little bit. This is a pale straw yellow color. Beautiful, really. Honestly, there might be a little evidence of gas. Like I see just a little bits of bubbles on the side, which, there's always talks about a lot of salinity with the Assyrtiko grape and wines. And so, that could be a little bit of what's offering that little effervescence in there as well. So beautiful pale straw color, maybe a little bit of a green hue on the end. On the nose, it's a semi-aromatic grape. It's not, bursting out of glass like a Riesling or a Sauvignon Blanc, but you do get some nice lemon, citrus. You definitely get mineral on the nose. They don't use oak when they're making Assyrtiko, so it's stainless steel, usually temperature controlled to make sure that it doesn't get too hot. And so no evidence of oak on the nose at all. It goes straight to the citrus. You get a little bit of tree fruits like some green apple, and then I actually am getting salinity and like a wet rock kind of slaty mineral character even just on the nose. A little bit of honey too, a little honey ginger. It smells delicious though. Let's see how it tastes. What I like about it right off the bat, it does have great acid. I'm salivating, but it also had a really round mouthfeel. Now that kind of compounds with what I've already discussed on this video, which is, you get a riper grape, a hotter region, so the fruit is really ripe and bright, but the grape has a natural acidity that keeps it, very linear and striking as well. On the palate, you definitely get some ripe lemon, a little bit of lemon zest, some lime in there. I am getting a touch of salinity, but I really have a nice mineral. It feels like there's some chalkiness or something like that on my tongue and on the palate there. Yeah, the fruit profile is ripe. The acid is the driving factor on the wine, and that definitely makes you think that it's a more tart wine than it is. I mean, it is a very tart wine, but it makes you think that it's more of a unripe grape. But actually, the fruit profile on it, I get bright lemon, little tangerine, maybe even a little tropical guava, banana, pineapple definitely springs to mind. So definitely a tropical and citrus-forward fruit profile on this, with a good acid background that just really, good structure on this wine, while still feeling a little bit creamy on the palate. Things I would pair this with, obviously seafood's going to be great. Any kind of white flaky fish. I would imagine this would be great with, something like a bass with a lemon beurre blanc would be delicious. So that's where my mind goes. Probably great with some sashimi style sushi as well. Just something light to get the meal started. But I do think it would be better with food than on its own. So, a ceviche or a poke or sushi all comes to mind, like something with raw fish, so that this acid can cut through anything fatty, like a tuna. That said, definitely wanted to share this amazing wine. Make sure to check out our fantastic listing as well. It is 1169 Helling Circle, number 304. Once again, that's a top floor unit. Looks towards the water from its beautiful vaulted ceilings and windows. Has great access to Deer Valley East Village and the Jordanelle Reservoir. So it's a great place to call a second home, or you could rent it out as well. So give us a call if you have any questions. And as always, cheers.